Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching in the world. Welcome along to the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. It is the season finale here at the RTA Virtual Motorsport, and we're here at the mini Nürburgring in the heart of Louth in Lincolnshire. We are here at Caldwell Park, one of Britain's probably most narrow tracks you could really come across. It's got a little bit of everything, this circuit. The history here being all set up in the late 1930s, originally as just a portion of the Hall Bends and a little bit of an oval. And since the 1950s, they added the likes of the Mountain, where the British Superbikes come here in their glory in their annual pilgrimage to the mini Nürburgring to tackle the Mountain. Two wheels there, you can really get some air coming into the final sections of this track. And I doubt, well, keep an eye on that airborne nature of Formula Vs. You could see them go airborne. We'll have to wait and see. Beautiful day to go racing as always. And I'm joined here by Ronan Hederman, who's out there in the background pushing all the buttons. And I hope I don't push his buttons tonight. Ronan, how are you?
Good, Kieran. How's things?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Ronan's behind the scenes, working away as always behind the stream, and he'll be helping me out in the commentary, so I don't bore you all. So it's all good. I love it. We're off to a great start. Well, we should probably have a look at the championship standings and seeing how everything is going so far. Well, Ronan Doherty is at the top of the table. These are without the drop scores, of course, and he has a 12-point lead over Dylan McClements. It's really tight between the two of them at the top there. Thor Tiller in third place on 362. Sean McClements on 330, with Conor Miller in fifth place on 316. Only a point behind him is Rory O'Shea, who locks out sixth place. Then it's Tony Stack in 17th place on 277. Robbie Callahan, who's had a fantastic debut season, on 252. Peter McCann in 9th place on 243. And Jordan Kelly rounding off the top 10 on 226. And it really has... Ronan's made a mistake. What's he done, ladies and gentlemen? What? Oh, no. I think I've outed him directly there. Oh, there we go. It's Andrew Murphy, who is 10th place there. There we go. See, he spotted that, and I would never have done. 240 for Andrew Murphy then in the top 10. And, well, looking at the statistics for this season, our most winningest driver, it looks like it's Ronan Doherty. 11 wins so far. Ronan, as we start to build up into tonight then, an impressive... I mentioned in that pre-show there, because you fed me the information, Robbie Callahan's had a fantastic debut season. Ronan Doherty with 11 wins so far this season. I mean, it's been a fantastic way to show it off, and Ronan Doherty still at the top of the table there. The points have been slightly updated now, but there you go. So it's a more like a 20-odd point lead, nearly 30-point lead for Ronan Doherty. Still the championship is theoretically, mathematically on. We shall see how it all plays out, and we join us back into the endings of the practice session here. And the times on the board then are very close. Ronan Doherty and Dylan McClements separated by, well, less than a blink of an eye, 200ths of a second. It's not even that either, with Peter McCann rounding off the top three. So that's our top three so far in the practice session, covered by just over 2/100ths of a second. So it's fair to say it might be quite close going into tonight's proceedings. And our two championship protagonists at the top of the order, Doherty versus McClements here. For Doherty, it's a case of just making sure he finishes ahead of Dylan McClements. He doesn't even have to finish directly ahead of him. He can finish 2 or 3 positions behind thrice over here tonight. Still have the dropped rounds to take into consideration as well. And we'll let the boffins, the ones who have got the abacuses, is that the plural? Or is it abaci? I never actually looked up that word, but there we go. They'll grab all the mathematicians and whatnot, all the wizards, to give us the final standings at the end of tonight's stream. And of course, it will take a little bit of time just to make sure all the points are finalised, as we see Robbie Callahan then making his way through in towards the front ends of the circuit. Then we head our way down the hill. It's such a hilly circuit, this one, all the way down in towards Mansfield here. We are breaking down on entry, and then it really does level out here, but this is the highlight of the circuit we've got coming up here as we head our way and climb the mountain in towards the left-hander here. You then go over the crest as you make your way over this crest here. Do we get some wheels? We get a little bit of airborne action there from Callahan then, and a little bit of a tail slide as well, as we'll then make our way through in towards the Hall Bends. But practice looks like it's well and truly over, with the checkered flag waving, and we're getting ourselves ready now for qualifying here. And of course, not very long in qualifying you get here, and you only get the 15 minutes. And of course, if you're new here, well, you're just in time for a championship finale. Yeah, you couldn't have come at a better time here, in all honesty. But it's 15 minutes of qualifying, and as soon as that timer expires, that's it. If you're on a lap, it doesn't matter. That time has expired. Qualifying is over. So you'll see drivers make their way on towards the circuit here in the best conga line you'll probably see here tonight. The Formula V's make their way to Caldwell Park for the final time. And, well, it's been quite an interesting season. It's been great to have a couple of locations here on the calendar. Been great to watch on, great to see and tour Britain. And it's a bit of a leap across the water as well to Lime Rock Park. But we've had the likes of the Stetterton 200, very much top speed, heavy circuit. Silverstone National, Brands Hatch Indy, fantastic circuit. Alton Park, Donington Park, with Knockhill as well. And we round off here at our mini Nürburgring for the season finale here. As we watch on for drivers making their way through. We've got 23 drivers here taking part in tonight's proceedings. So it's a very healthy grid heading away towards the end of the season. We ride on board then with Peter McCann as he makes his way then down towards Mansfield. And really sizing up the lap here, making sure all systems are nominal. There's a car just off to the left-hand side off the circuit then. But Peter McCann will make his way through then. Onwards he will go towards the mountain, and at this lower speed on his outlap he won't try and jump the mountain, scale the mountain there, but it's such a perilous climb then. It really is a fantastic circuit to go watching if you do get a chance to watch the British Superbikes here at Caldwell Park. Thoroughly enjoyable. For the mountain alone, thoroughly enjoyable. There's Peter McCann then as he makes his way across the line then. We are riding on board with him as we'll make our way now onwards towards the first corner here at Coppers. It's flat out left-hander, but it's a blind apex here as you make your way now through in towards Charlie's. Then it's a long right-hander, again a blind crest, a blind apex multiple times, and we've only made it in towards the second corner of the circuit. And you can see the undulation as you'll make your way down the park straight. Once again, you're heading away on towards Park Corner, and it's one of those that as soon as you make your way over the crest, you have to think about slowing the car down in fourth gear here as we make our way towards that 100-meter board. We break about 50 meters before the corner, maybe even slightly earlier than that, down a gear through Park, and then we make our way through in towards Chris Curve here. A little bit of traffic for Peter to have to deal with then, deals with it very well indeed. And then we'll make our way, oh, apologies, it's Ronan Doherty who's making his way through there. Thank you, Ronan Hederman behind the it's all going wrong, don't worry about it. Mansfield then for Ronan Doherty as he makes his way then back onto the power then, and onwards then he will make his way towards the mountain. We don't take that motorcycle chicane to slow the bikes down here. We're in the Formula V, so we use that full car circuit then. Over the mountain we go then. Do we get a little bit of a jump? Oh, we don't this time, I'm afraid. Heading our way then through in towards the Hall Bends here. This is all about momentum. How much speed you take through, and Ronan Doherty taking a little bit too much curb there. That upset the Formula V underneath him, and he'll have to go again. But that was the startings and the putting together of quite a decent lap there, as we watch on Sean McClements making his way now through in towards Mansfield Corner then, as he makes his way, powers his way onwards then towards the mountain, this left and right. It's a good overtaking opportunity here. In terms of overtaking opportunities, well, there aren't many. It's a very flowing circuit, but it's also very narrow. I don't know if you've noticed so far how narrow this circuit is at certain points of this track. And that really will add to the challenge for these drivers. It's a case of qualifying is critical here. You have to make sure you get the higher grid positions. You do not want to be really in the midfield as you make your way through in towards Coppice and Charlie's. It's quite a fast-flowing section, and you don't want to be caught up in a little bit of a melee heading your way through there as Dylan McClements makes his way across the line and goes top of the standings. 39.428 from Dylan McClements, and really looking to see what he can do in the closing stages of this season. Of course, he's on 476. No penalty points either between Doherty and McClements, so relatively clean season for them. Conor Melia has just gone quickest through that first timing loop there. So we'll keep an eye on him as he makes his way through now onwards towards the mountain, then through the left and right hander. Oh, the car just snapped underneath him on entry there. He managed to gather it back up as Callahan has just gone top of the standings then. 1:39.360 from Robbie Callahan as he pulls his way off to the grass and makes his way back into the pits then. There is Tony Stack, who's challenging up the hall bends now as we make our way through that slalom, that Super Mario livery. There's a couple of cars been caught up there. Conor Melia then, we'll see what sort of lap time he will put on the board then as he'll make his way onwards and upwards then through the order. Conor Melia goes third fastest then on a 1:39.9. Doherty then, Ronan Doherty up to second fastest now and within 2/100ths of a second of Robbie Callahan then. Tony Stack in 5th place, Peter McCann in 6th, Thor Tuller in 7th place, Rory O'Shea in 8th, Mark Ivory in 9th, and Jamal Gandor rounding off the top 10. And Jamal Gandor, what a season he's had, and it's great to see him back on the track. Of course, it's the first opportunity I've got to commentate on our fellow Lebanese driver. It's fantastic to see him back on the grid. It's fantastic to see him watch him race again. He's currently 12th fastest at this moment in time. Sean McClements, meanwhile, has just gone 4th fastest then, 1:39.575 as Stuart Brereton, 15th fastest now. And it becomes a game of watching those timing screens. We have just shy of about 7 and a bit minutes left of this session to run. Looking at it, Conor Melia's now gone 5th fastest. 1:39.931. Rory O'Shea's now 9th fastest. David Prunty's now rounding off the top 10 as we watch on with Sean McClements then, perhaps looking for a move down the inside. Thinks better of it on this occasion as we make our way through in towards those great corners here. I've had the pleasure of being at Caldwell Park, and the commentary boxes are, well, you get one down the start-finish straight, but you'll quickly soon realise that because of this vast nature of this circuit, there's plenty of undulation here. When you're in that main commentary box, there's not a lot you can see. You see this fantastic section of the mountain that's just through the trees there. You can just about make out those cars as they make their way through here. You don't see the hall bends or the hairpins, so when you're in that main commentary box, you're just sort of waiting for cars to appear out of Barn Corner, the final corner, and seeing what happens there. And then if you time it, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, depending on what sort of machinery you're watching racing, and you don't see them for a while, it's a little bit of a worrying sign because you don't see the yellow flags. Once you get past the hall bends and the hairpin, through and towards Barn Corner we go, and onwards then towards that start-finish line. But I thoroughly recommend Caldwell Park. Fantastic circuit to watch some great racing. I've had the pleasure of watching some minis race around Caldwell Park, and seriously, 4 of them down the start-finish straight is possible. I don't think it's possible with many other cars to go 4 wide down that straight. Then on board with Stuart Brereton, then he's currently 18th fastest as he makes his way onwards towards that start-finish line. Robbie Callahan still top of the standings at the moment. 1:39.360 is the time to beat, with Ronan Doherty in 2nd place, just about through 200ths of a second shy at the moment. Dylan McClements in 3rd place, Sean McClements in 4th, so it's a McClements 2nd row at the moment. Conor Melia in 5th place, Tony Stack in 6th. Sean McGoldrick is in 7th place. There he is as he makes his way down in towards Mansfield now. He'll make his way back onto the power as he'll look to climb and ascend the mountain then, as we make our way through then onwards and upwards. Maybe a slight bit of a toe perhaps. Maybe a little bit much of a reach there, but never mind. Over the mountain we go then. You see that suspension does have to work hard, as now Sean McGoldrick will tackle hall bends here. A little bit of traffic that he has to deal with, unfortunately for him, so he might have to abandon that lap on this occasion in towards the hairpin, one of the slowest corners on the circuit. Then we make our way through in towards hall bend. 2 tricky corners to round off the lap you have to bring and put together here. We'll watch Sean McGoldrick. Does he make his way up through the order on this occasion? He does set a new PB, but 7th fastest. So I don't think he made an improvement in position there as he's looking for a move. He's looking to go racing already as he hit his way through and towards Charlie's then. There's Sean McClements, who's now making his way through in towards the final couple of corners. You've got to be careful you don't run too far wide going out of the hairpin there. Otherwise you give yourself those terrible X's that will haunt you for the rest of your days. There's David Prunty, who's within the top 10 right now, 9th fastest for him as he makes his way through in towards Charlie's. And then he'll bring himself now on towards the Park Straight. And 23 drivers will be looking to tackle turns 1 and 2, Coppice and Charlie's, which I've already mentioned is going to be an interesting one. It's a very narrow circuit here. And normally with most forms of racing, you do get rolling starts in, purely because it's such a narrow grid, especially for modern day machinery that wants to race around here. You do sometimes get the rolling starts that are found to be more preferable, but I believe it will be standing start here. So keep an eye on that though, and the run up towards Coppice. And we'll see what they can do then. Conor Mealy then making his way through in towards the final corner. What sort of lap time was he setting there? Didn't set the last sectors up too much, but he wasn't too far off the leading pace right now. He'll make his way across the line and make his way. He's 5th fastest at the moment. Don't think there was an improvement in lap time there. There's cut a car off just in the background there as we watch on with Rory O'Shea. He'll then get back onto the power out of Barn Corner, onwards towards that start-finish line. It's not an improvement so far in the first 2 sectors. It is an improvement in the final sector, and that final improvement is enough to get him up to the 4th row of the grid. 8th fastest right now for Rory O'Shea. Just about 4 minutes left of qualifying left to go, but Peter McCann is a man in form. 39.342 from Peter McCann puts him now on provisional pole position. Very nice lap time, very tidy lap time as well. You know, the top 3 in our practice session was separated by less than 2/100ths of a second. Peter McCann was right up there with Ronan Doherty and Dylan McClements. Robbie Callahan currently 2nd fastest in this session. Keeping an eye on lap times as they all make their way through. As Logan Hoy then in 10th place, just gone personal best through sector 1. Slower sector time, I should say, through sector 2. As TJ Tuff, currently 14th fastest, has just set his personal best middle sector, as we watch on with Ronan Doherty make his way through in towards the middle part of the lap through Chris Curve, and he'll make his way through in towards the gooseneck. As we watch on Dylan McClements having to deal with just a little bit, a tiny bit, a smidgen of traffic to try and make his way through then, but got to find that space out there. We're setting, 1 minute 40s is your fast lap. So if you're looking at an out lap, you're probably looking more in towards the 2 minute 10s. As we ride on board now with Dylan McClements. He knows this is an important race coming into tonight. The odds might be stacked against him, but he's still mathematically in with a shout. And as long as he's mathematically in with it, he will give it his best. We know that. The youngster just proving he's got the pace with him so far. Dylan McClements just having a look at the results so far. I mean, plenty of second places for Dylan McClements, but only the 1 win for him this season. Plenty of podiums, though. He's been really jolly on the spot with that. 5 third places so far this season, 6 second places. So, very healthy times on the podium. 13 podiums, one of them, though, being 1 victory. And we would love to get some good victories on his side going into tonight's racing action. Ronan Doherty then, well, he's been the man of the hour, the man of the season. 11 wins for him so far, as he looks to continue on this fantastic form that he has, that has put him right at the top of the standings, and it's put him right at the top of the order. 1 minute 39.237 from Ronan Doherty at this stage puts him onto the provisional pole position spot. And we don't have long of qualifying left. We've got Stuart Brereton, who's just got set a personal best, 20th fastest now for Brereton. Gets himself onto the 10th row of the grid. Keeping an eye on those sector times then. Who's setting Nick Tuller looks like he's setting, or at least he set a quick 2 final sectors. They get a 1 minute 42.6, which was good enough for 19th fastest. There's Ronan Doherty then, making his way through. Robbie Callahan currently 3rd fastest, trying to secure that spot on the 2nd row, maybe even one better. If he finds a 10th of a second, he'll get himself up at least 1 spot. But Ronan Doherty, 39.2 from the most winningest driver so far this season, really making a mark going into tonight's race. We don't have long left. We have 50 seconds left on the board. So really, if you're making your way towards the end of your lap, it's a good sign you're going to finish it. Rory O'Shea's just gone and improved, gone to 9th fastest now on his final lap of the session. 1 minute 39.968 Good lap time from Rory O'Shea. Top 10 separated by less than a second, which is always great to see. Here's Dylan McClements making his way towards the line. Is there going to be an improvement from McClements? Yes, there is. McClements goes second fastest then. It's not quite enough for provisional pole position. He's just shy of that by 4/100ths of a second. But he has got a place on the front row. Robbie Callahan then is on a flying lap. Dylan McClements then, obviously with no time left, has to retire. But Robbie Callahan here with 8 seconds on the clock is not going to be able to finish this lap time then. So he will be starting 4th fastest as we head our way into the race upcoming. But that is qualifying done and dusted. And it's going to be Ronan Doherty who takes pole position then heading into race 1 this evening with Dylan McClements in 2nd place and Peter McCann rounding off the top 3. Great lap from Peter McCann then getting himself on that 2nd row at the very least. Robbie Callahan continuing his great form in this season, starting in 4th place. Sean McClements in 5th. It's Sean McGoldrick in 6th place. Conor Melia in 7th with Tony Stack in 8th. Rory O'Shea is 9th with Logan Hoy in 10th. Then it's David Prunty in 11th place, Thor Tuller in 12th, Carl Irvine in 13th place, Mark Ivory in 14th, TJ Taft in 15th place with Nick Tuller in 16th, Dave Collier in 17th place, Philip Upson in 18th, Jamal Gandor in 19th place, Stuart Brereton in 20th, Enda Farrell in 21st, Andrew Murphy 22nd, and Gerard Thornton rounds off our 23 drivers heading into tonight's race. Well, very, very close action, very, very close times as well. Heading into this one, I mean, the top 4 separated by just over 1/10 of a second. Normally is a good sign as they'll make their way up towards the first corner proper on their first flying lap of the circuit. This is one you'll probably want to stay tuned for, and that would be the understatement of the season. It is the final race of the season here. As we head away onwards to the grid, then we'll await to get this race underway. The first of 3 heats tonight. And there is Ronan Doherty, who is on the front row, ready to make good of his well-earned pole position here at Caldwell Park. You can see the slalom, the snake, making its way on the grid-wise. 23 drivers are ready to face Coppice and Charlie's for the first time then, but we're almost ready to go then here at Caldwell Park as we count up to 5 red lights. And we go racing here. What are the starts like? It's not the best start in the world, though, for Robbie Callahan. He struggles to get away. It's a great start, though, from Ronan Doherty. He flies into the lead. Then Dylan McClements in 2nd place. Peter McCann is now in 3rd. Sean McClements has gone up the order then, but that's not a great start for Robbie Callahan. He's fallen all the way down to 10th place. He's been gobbled up by the rest of the pack then. He's really going to have to try and fight his way through the order then. There is Robbie Callahan in the green, white and orange tricolour. He'll have to fight and battle his way back through. It's almost like he didn't quite get the launch right, but here's a challenge for the lead. Then Dylan McClements looking to try and find a way around the outside of Ronan Doherty, which he does then through in towards that flying right-hand corner at Charlie's then, and we'll make our way now on towards the park straight. Watch out though for Peter McCann, who's in 3rd place. He is jolly on the pace here at Caldwell Park and is looking to take a win here right now through the gooseneck. And as we head away now down towards Mansfield, it's Dylan McClements who leads from Ronan Doherty. How Dylan McClements needed that good start and that good first lap. As watching on then, Ronan Doherty spinner in the background there. That looks like it's TJ Taft who's spun around on the exit of Mansfield then, and it was TJ Taft. He makes his way back out onto the track at the very least, but is now all the way at the back of the order then. Dylan McClements leads from Ronan Doherty. Tony Stack meanwhile has just been passed by Robbie Callahan. Callahan now moving up to 8th place as he looks to try and get this charge on to get himself back up the order. As that's Tony Stack running a little bit wide. Thor Tuller, we've got problems in the background there. Dave Collier, I think, is one driver at least that was caught up in that smoke screen in the background there of drivers heading their way through in towards the hairpin. Nick Tuller and Dave Collier perhaps, but we've got a challenge for the lead there through in towards Coppice. Doherty up the inside. It'll become the outside as we make our way through in towards Charlie's. Then Peter McCann and Sean McClements also battling away for position. McCann holds on to 3rd. McClements holds on to 1st, but the 4 of them, the quartet, battling their way now as we head away up the park straight. Then Doherty tries to grab the inside line of what it will be the inside line, heading in towards Park Corner, and Peter McCann is trying to follow him through. Then Doherty on the inside, heading our way through in towards the right-hander of Park Corner. Back on the power we go then. It's only down a gear and then you're straight back onto the power. Doherty still on the inside as we head away through in towards Chris Curve. And there's Dylan McClements just ahead there of Peter McCann. What can McClements do at this stage? We head away through the gooseneck and then descend our way down in towards Mansfield. Are there any moves going on here in this top 7, top 8 who have seemed to have broken away from the rest of the pack? Then it is the top 8 who've managed to break away. Thor Tuller is a little bit of a cork in the bottle for everyone behind. Tony Stack, meanwhile, is looking to try and see if he can find a way past David Prunty, heading away in towards and climbing the mountain here to reach the peak as Sean McGoldrick is around at the top of the mountain, at the peak. That's the trough for Sean McGoldrick. He'll have to try and wait. He'll have to wait. He actually tows it back to the pit lane, unfortunately, for Sean McGoldrick. And for Sean McGoldrick, who qualified in 6th place, he's being towed all the way back to the pit lane. Ronan Doherty then leads from Dylan McClements, and it's Peter McCann in 3rd place. Sean McClements in 4th, Conor Melia in 5th, Rory O'Shea in 6th. Robbie Callahan continues his recovery drive. He's up into 7th place with Thor Tuller in 8th place. Riding on board then with Dylan McClements as we make our way through in towards the 1st corner, now in towards the 2nd at Charlie's. Long right-hander here. The great stuff about the Formula V's is there's very little aero on these cars. You can follow cars going through high-speed corners, and Dylan McClements looking to try and now go round the outside of what will be a right-hand corner at Park, and Peter McCann once again trying to pick his way through the field, just pick up a little bit of a toe heading away in towards Park Corner here. We're still side by side in a battle for the lead. Then Doherty on the inside now as we head away through in towards Chris Curve. Dylan McClements has to back out of that for now, with Peter McCann hot and ready on their heels. Through the gooseneck we go. Plenty of curb to be taken there, and you get a little bit of camber towards the inside curb then, riding on the nose now of Peter McCann as we get back onto the power then, out of Mansfield as we head away towards the mountain here. A great helicopter shot of the top 5 making their way through in towards the mountain to climb and ascend. Doherty from McClements, from McCann, from McClements, from Melia, from O'Shea as they'll head their way through now in through the Hall Bends. Difficult part of the circuit to get right. It's all about momentum here. How much pace, how much bravery do you carry through there? We saw some drivers get caught out by catching a little bit too much curb, spinning the car around. Not ideal. But they'll be able to put that qualifying however it went behind them as Ender Farrell starts dropping down the order and back into the pit lane, I believe. Although, no, I'm going to get corrected there. Looks like Ender Farrell is still out on the circuit. But McClements here looking for a move now in towards Charlie's then, looking for a move up the inside here. Doherty holds firm then, just about staying on the circuit goes Doherty, but McClements finds his way through, and now Peter McCann fancies his chances, but he might find himself a little bit boxed in here. He does. He now has to switch lane here to go to the outside to try and follow Doherty through. Doherty now on the outside of Dylan McClements, heading away through in towards Park Bend here as Sean McClements now up the inside of Peter McCann. This is all drawing Conor Melia back into the action here as our top 5, our quintet, make their way through in towards Chris Curve, and now they'll head up the gooseneck once again here. We're flying through here. We're already over half time that's been allocated for this race then, as Doherty leads McClements, then Peter McCann in 3rd. Dylan McClements knows he has to find a way past Doherty and stay there. But as we've already seen, it's really good to make an overtake, but when you head in towards the mountain, it's not really an overtaking opportunity at this point. Look how aggressive McClements was then, going through the mountain, taking that second part of the curve, really attacking it here, as we see now our quintet tackle the Hall Bends once again on lap 4 of this race. And we have about 3.5 minutes left on the clock. We've probably got time for at least 2 laps, potentially even 3. I don't really want this race to end. It's been fantastic so far. If you're like me and you don't want this to end, I've got great news. We've got 2 more races after this tonight. all here at Caldwell Park. We've got some battling going on in the background. I think that's Logan Hoy and Thor Tuller battling away for position further behind, as well as Thor Tuller tries to find a way past. No way through in towards Coppice there. High speed left-hander in towards high speed right at Charlie's. And there's great battling wherever you look as well. TJ Tuff, who's battling his way back through the field. TJ's having a great recovery drive. Remember, he spun early on in the race and has now managed to recover himself to P15. Dylan McClements, though, looking to once again swoop his way around the outside. Watch out as well for Sean McClements, looking for a move up the inside of Peter McCann as we head our way through in towards Park Bend. And still McClements, Sean McClements that is, still on the inside of Peter McCann as our top two try to break away as best as they can. Although if they start squabbling through and towards the likes of Chris Curve and the gooseneck here, that might spell trouble. Peter McCann slightly out of sorts then going through the gooseneck. That's allowed Sean McClements to find a way up the inside and take over third place. And in doing so, that's squabbling for third place. The top two have started to try and break away. Peter McCann trying to fill the mirrors now of Sean McClements to try and see if he can put him under a bit of pressure here. Through and over the mountain we go then as we head our way through in towards Hall Bends. Just keeping an eye on the time here. We've had 8 minutes and 9 seconds. We're lapping in the 1 minute 40s there or thereabouts. So it's going to be close to the line. I don't think we'll make our way through in towards the final corner. This could well be our final lap of the race when our drivers cross the line. Then I'm assuming we're going to see the white flag from the start finish line potentially. We'll keep an eye on it though, as yes, we do see the white flag then. So final lap of the race, McClements from Doherty from McClements. So it's Sean in third, it's Dylan leading the way. Robbie Callahan though has got himself back up into 7th place after that poor start from him. Just didn't seem like he got the launch absolutely spot on, and he was gobbled up on the start line there. Fell to 10th, has now made his way back up to 7th. It's not over yet. Our top two, though, have broken away. Once again, Doherty looking for a move against Dylan McClements. He loves a little bit of this move, to be fair. So does Dylan McClements through in towards Park Corner. We go. There's contact was there. Dylan McClements is around, and he'll have to hold the brake, and everybody just about avoids him, though. Dylan McClements falls his way down the order. He rejoins in 7th place, but he's going to lose more positions here to Logan Hoy and Thor Tuller. Let's have a look and see riding through then. Dylan McClements and Ronan Doherty, did they make contact then going through Park Corner? They've been scrapping for that position then through and towards Park Corner they go. Yeah, there was contact there. Unfortunately, Dylan McClements finds himself spun around. He does rejoin onto the circuit though, but he's all the way down now to 9th place. Ronan Doherty leads though. It's Sean McClements in 2nd place. That puts Peter McCann back up onto a podium spot, with Robbie Callahan in all those replays has got himself up into 4th place. That's a huge moment though for Sean McClements, losing the back end violently then into the wall, and Sean McClements out of the race on the final lap of heat number 1. Ronan Doherty, meanwhile, though, makes his way around Barn Corner and takes the checkered flag for the first race of the day. Peter McCann in 2nd place. What a recovery drive from Robbie Callahan. He started that race in 4th, fell to 10th after a poor start, and got himself back up to a heat podium. Brilliant race from Robbie Callahan then. It's Conor Melia in 4th place, Rory O'Shea in 5th, with Thor Tuller in 6th place then. Logan Hoy in 7th place, with Dylan McClements in 8th. Tony Stack 9th. Carl Irvine in 10th place. We're watching on here Jamal Gandor. Can he try and find one late move then, or at least try and hold on to the move? He can then. 12th place for Jamal Gandor as he makes his way on towards that top 12 position. And well, we're very much getting ready for our second race of the evening already. Well, Ronan Doherty taking the victory there, with Peter McCann in 2nd place and Robbie Callahan rounding off the podium. There's Ender Farrell, who rounds off our top 20. And there is Sean McGoldrick, who found a moment, unfortunately, early on in this race. Still in the running, though, and rounds off 21st place. Sean McClements, though, big moment from him and cost him a podium position. Going through Hall Bends, it just looked like the rear violently snapped on him there. It just seemed like from that position, there was absolutely nothing he could do. As soon as that car was turning left, when he wanted it to go right, there was just absolutely no recovering it. So heat number 1 then, your provisional results for that one. Ronan Doherty wins from Peter McCann in 2nd place. It's Robbie Callahan in 3rd, Conor Melia in 4th, Rory O'Shea 5th, Thor Tuller 6th, Logan Hoy in 7th, Dylan McClements 8th, Tony Stack 9th, Kyle Irvine, I should say, in 10th place. Andrew Murphy up 11 positions in that race. Great race from him. He finishes in 11th place. Jamal Gandor in 12th. TJ Tuff in 13th place. Tough race for him, but great recovery drive. Dave Collier in 14th place. Mark Ivory in 15th. Gerard Thornton in 16th place. David Prunty in 17th. Nick Tuller in 18th place. Stuart Brereton in 19th. Ender Farrell in 20th. Sean McGoldrick, our last of the finishers, in 21st place. Non-finishers there, Sean McClements and Philip Upson. Well, the result of race number 1 decides our grid for race number 2. So that is our pole man there. Ronan Doherty will have Peter McCann starting right behind him. Robbie Callahan in 3rd place here. We're not too far away from getting our second heat underway. In fact, we've already got the lights ready on the gantry here then as we head up now to 5 red lights for heat number 2 here at Caldwell Park. They go out, we go racing. What are the starts like? Once again, it's not a great start, but this time it's not a great start for Peter McCann. He falls down to 4th place now, and Robbie Callahan, well, he did have a great start in race 1. He got a fantastic launch off the line for race number 2 here, but Conor Melia in the background here trying to challenge away now for 2nd place. He manages to get up the inside there of Robbie Callahan. Through now we go in towards our next corner at Charlie's then. Still Conor Melia is on the inside then. Thor Tuller, meanwhile, has got himself rocketed up into 3rd place there. He started 6th up to 3rd for Thor Tuller. Brilliant stuff from him. How can he battle his way through this one, I wonder? Watch out as well for Dylan McClements, who's 7th right now, as Robbie Callahan again trying to find some moves there. Thor Tuller runs wide. There's contact in the background. Dave Collier, I think, has been caught up with TJ Tuff as they made their way through in towards Chris Curve. I think that's exactly who it was, TJ Tuff and Dave Collier then, as we rejoin what was right now our battle for the lead. Ronan Doherty leads then from Robbie Callahan in 2nd place, and meanwhile Dylan McClements really on the charge to try and make up some positions there. Currently 7th place with Rory O'Shea ahead of him, but that's Conor Melia who runs all sorts of sideways on the exit of Mansfield there, manages to gather it back up. Well held, Conor. It might have lost you a couple of positions there, but as long as you're still facing the right way, it's a save and a half at that, and still trying to drive as aggressively as you can to make up lost time. We head away now through in towards the Hall Bends then, watching on Rory O'Shea briefly as he's looking to try and hold back the attack of Dylan McClements, who Dylan finds himself now up into 6th place. Doherty then makes his way around the final corner on a very eventful first lap of this race to take the lead. Robbie Callahan in 2nd place then, with Thor Tuller rounding off the top 3 right now. Got a couple of drivers swapping positions there. Philip Upson and Gerard Thornton falling down the order then. Stuart Brereton lost a position there, and lost a couple of positions actually. Meanwhile then, Ronan Doherty, we watch on as Robbie Callahan is now breathing down his neck as we make our way onwards through in towards Park Straight now. And this is where the tow really starts to come into play here. Robbie Callahan, can he find a way past as they make their way now up on towards Park Corner here, with Thor Tuller right behind them. Then through in towards Park Corner we go, battling behind as well, as that's Dylan McClements trying to get a move done here, trying to actually defend from Logan Hoy as we make our way through now in towards Chris Curve. I think he was actually trying to find a way past Rory O'Shea, but fell into the clutches there of Logan Hoy and had to do a bit of defending at that point. Ronan Doherty makes his way down through Mansfield now, back on the power with Robbie Callahan right behind him. Thor Tuller in 3rd place, Peter McCann in 4th. And the top 4 have slightly broken away. Rory O'Shea finds himself about 2 seconds back from this lead quartet. And in doing so, he's got Dylan McClements right behind him, ready to try and get a position as Dylan McClements runs a little bit onto the grass in the background there, just trying to see what he can do to put the pressure on. Just got to be careful at this stage not to overdrive the car. It's very easy to do that, especially through the Hall Bends. We've already seen some curbs really take a disdain to some of the aggression over the curbs. So they can bite back if you don't treat them right. In doing so, though, Rory O'Shea has managed to scythe down the gap. I did mention that he was 2 seconds behind this lead quartet. It's now about 1.2 seconds, so doing a fine job there. Peter McCann now with the fastest lap of the race, 39.3. He's currently 4th in that queue for the battle of the lead. Rory O'Shea and Dylan McClements, I'm sure, not for the first time this evening, doing battle as we make our way now onwards to the park straight, riding on board, looking backwards off our race leader Ronan Doherty. It's Robbie Callaghan who's right behind him here as we'll make our way up towards Park Corner. Look in the background there as well for Dylan McClements, who gets his way now past Rory O'Shea even before the braking zone. Dylan McClements now is up into 5th place, and now the expedition, the adventure starts to try and find a way back through. Sean McClements passing Sean McGoldrick here. McClements, of course, crashed out of the last race. I'm sure he'll want me to remind everyone of that one. I'm sure he's delighted with that. But he's had to start from right at the very back, 22nd place. He's now up into 11th place. So what can he do from this position? Can he press on and get himself up into the top 10? Andrew Murphy has got away past Conor Melia, but that might be why, because Conor Melia has found himself on the grass there, and that was out of Mansfield. As another car running a little bit wide going through in towards Mansfield there. It's a very tricky corner to get right. You start to have to brake right as the track really dips away from you. It's really easy to lock a brake there going in towards Mansfield. That's just the challenge of the corner. There's Nick Tuller then trying to find a way past Enda Farrell. That's for P13 as we make our way through in towards the Hall Bends then. Both of them having to take slightly different lines. Both of them sort of getting themselves slightly out of shape. That's allowing all that accordion effect of battling to really bunch up behind them. Thor Tuller has just set the new fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 38.971. As there is Rory O'Shea, who's trying to find a way back past Dylan McClements. Logan Hoy here not really letting this go without a huge prize in his hands. He finished 7th place in the last race. He's currently 7th place right now, trying to pick up a toe from the likes of Rory O'Shea. O'Shea then manages to get his way past Dylan McClements, at least on the straight here, and he swoops through, does around the outside. Rory O'Shea takes over that position of P5. And then we've got Dylan McClements in 6th place then. Andrew Murphy thinks about a move up the inside of Sean McClements to try and get the move back, but no way through for Andrew Murphy. Sean McClements now up into 9th place as he continues his track to get back up the order. And well, we've seen Sean McClements has the pace here today. We know that. He had a strong qualifying position, a strong first race, strong race pace in Heat 1. But it all came to a fray after he lost the back end just in towards the Hall Bends. Dylan McClements, again, trying to find a way past Rory O'Shea. He can't do it at this moment in time as we make our way through in towards the Hall Bends then. 6.5 minutes left, or 6.5 minutes into the race, I should say. 8.5 minutes left on the clock. As we watch on, Dylan McClements getting the power down once again. Sean McGoldrick here has got past Andrew Murphy. That's for 10th place. As we make our way in towards the hairpin, then Andrew Murphy really wanted to try and find a way past. Couldn't quite find it. Conor Melia really pushing hard. He runs wide slightly at the hairpin. Meanwhile, there's Dylan McClements looking for a move up the inside. Then as we head our way through in towards Coppice, again Dylan McClements finds the way through, gets the position and moves himself up a position at this point then, and making his way through. Just having a look through here at some past results. Thor Tuller, best result so far this season of 1 second place. Can he try and go one better here tonight? He's currently in 3rd place right now. There's Rory O'Shea and Dylan McClements once again doing battle. It looks like O'Shea's just got the legs going in towards Park Corner to keep himself ahead at this stage as they head our way through. And meanwhile, we've still got that battle for 10th place right now. Sean McGoldrick looking to try and have to go round the outside of Andrew Murphy then, and Murphy taking a much tighter line. I think that slightly caught out Sean McGoldrick there, who had to take a little bit of a braking action there. That's allowed Conor Melia to make his way through up into 11th place. And as we make our way now through in towards the gooseneck, heading away now down in towards Mansfield, you see how hard Andrew Murphy is pushing here. He definitely feels the pressure from the likes of Conor Melia and Sean McGoldrick here. And watching on now from our lead quartet as they make their way through in towards the Hall Bends now. Ronan Doherty leading from Robbie Callaghan. It's Thor Tuller in 3rd place, Peter McCann in 4th, as they'll now make their way through in towards a barn corner here. Just have a look and see how much time we have on the board. It's 8 minutes 21 so far that have elapsed in our race then, as you just see through the trees, Thor Tuller trying to close in on Robbie Callaghan as we make our way up towards Coppice for another time worth of asking then. Thor Tuller riding on board then. Yet 1 second place is his best result so far this season. He's got a great chance here of doing one better. Peter McCann hasn't won a race this season so far either. How he would love to get his way up the order there, that is for sure. And making his way through the order now. Just having a look at Robbie Callaghan, his best position. Yeah, it's 1 second place. So, sorry, 2 first places for Robbie Callaghan. So he could make it a trio tonight if he's able to get his way through. Then Rory O'Shea not quite finding the chance to break away from the likes of Dylan McClements and Logan Hoy. There's just no way to do it. If you start battling, you just cost each other time. As Conor Melia here, Sean McGoldrick down the inside as Andrew Murphy tries to follow Sean McGoldrick through. No way through, or at least I thought there was no way through. Andrew Murphy still hanging it on the inside then of Conor Melia. Has to eventually concede at that point. Conor Melia then sticking with 11th place. Andrew Murphy having to deal with 12th place for now, but Andrew Murphy runs a little bit wide onto the grass as we head away down in towards Mansfield. Back on the power we go once again. Watching on, I mean, there's great battles wherever you're looking at. We've got 3 or 4 great battles that we could be keeping our eye on. One of them being the battle for the lead. It's Doherty who again leads the way then as we make our way through in towards Barn Corner. Getting that power down. Robbie Callaghan in second place, looking to make it win number 3. Ronan Doherty has 12 wins now to his name this season. And watching on then with Dylan McClements as he looks once again to try and find a way past Rory O'Shea. As Dylan McClements has the inside line heading our way through in towards Coppice. Does get the move done at least for now, but you and I have seen this film before. You know that Rory O'Shea can have the momentum on his side as we make our way through in towards Charlie's and on towards the Park Straight. There's a move up the inside then for TJ Taft as he makes his way now up into up to another position there, far past Dave Collier. As they make their way through, that's TJ Taft up into 16th place now. Dylan McClements once again. There you see, we saw this film before, didn't we? We all saw the spoilers. Rory O'Shea back ahead now of Dylan McClements as we make our way through in towards the left hand there, I should say, of Chris Curve. There's our lead quartet once again, and we're following Ronan Doherty. Right behind him is Robbie Callaghan as we make our way through in towards Mansfield. And we get back onto the power. We've had 11 minutes elapsed in this race so far. We'll see how much time we've got remaining in this race and try and work backwards from there as to what sort of, how many laps we have left. I can't imagine it's going to be many more left as we head away over the mountain, that suspension working overtime to make sure the ride is, well, as comfortable as possible, as comfortable as the drivers make it at that point. Robbie Callaghan really getting a good run through the Hall Bends there, through and towards the hairpin. It's just you get the good run through the Hall Bends, but there's so little space to be able to do something with it in towards the hairpin. Looking at Ender Farrell, that's TJ Taft going right around the outside of Ender Farrell, then going through in towards Mansfield. Picking up his position there is TJ Taft as he makes his way now through in towards the mountain. Lead quartet make their way across the line, and we probably have 2 more laps worth of racing at least. Peter McCann has joined right onto the back of Thor Tuller then. There hasn't been much overtaking in the lead quartet at this moment in time. I wonder if they're just having that unconventional alliance. That alliance might break very soon as the clock ticks further and further to the end of the race. You see in the background there, Dylan McClements has once again got past Rory O'Shea, but we've seen this 2 or 3 times now. Rory O'Shea has the better run going in towards Park Corner, down the Park Straight, and takes that position back. And this must be really frustrating right now for Dylan McClements. He knows he can make the move done. He knows he can get it through Coppice and Charlie's, but as soon as we get onto the Park Straight, that move goes straight back to Rory O'Shea. And O'Shea is happy with that because he's able to hold on to it for the rest of the lap. So if it's like that, then O'Shea is very happy to keep a hold of that position. He's very happy to keep swapping positions like that with Dylan McClements, because at the rate of momentum right now, that favour is in Rory O'Shea for 5th place. Leaders then make their way through in towards the mountain and sizing up the Hall Bends once again. 13 minutes elapsed here as our drivers head their way through in towards the Hall Bends. Thor Tuller 3rd place. Peter McCann's right behind him though, heading our way through the hairpin. Great shot there as we head our way through in towards our final corner at Barn Corner. Back on the power we will go then. We have 30 minutes and 20 elapsed. There is the white flag then, so I thought it might be close. It is going to be close, but it's Ronan Doherty who starts the final lap of this race then. Dylan McClements once again moves to the right-hand side of the track this time as we head away through in towards Coppice. It gives him the outside line through Coppice here, swooping his way through. Brilliant stuff from Dylan McClements. Gets the move done, but is he able to try and gallop away enough through in towards Charlie's here to get himself far enough ahead? He won't get far enough ahead if he runs wide on the exit of Charlie's like that. And here comes Rory O'Shea then once again moving to the left-hand side of the track. Can Rory O'Shea make the move stick? Can Dylan McClements hold in there? Down the inside in towards Park Corner, O'Shea takes over that position once again, and that's a change for the lead then. Robbie Callaghan now leads here in heat number 2, trying to chase his 3rd race win of the season through the gooseneck. Ronan Doherty now in 2nd place, Thor Tuller in 3rd. As we head away down towards Mansfield we go then, and we'll get back onto the power. Callaghan leads then as we head away towards the mountain. He's got a mountain to climb if he wants to keep a hold of this lead position here, but there aren't many overtaking opportunities. He's got to keep everything up in a wrap and wrap it up in a nice little bow. Through the hall bends we will go then. Ronan Doherty will be chasing him all the way. There might be a chance through towards the hairpin, but it's so tight, it's so narrow that there's not really a move on there unless Callaghan loses it a little bit under braking. Through in towards the final corner we go then. Does Callaghan have the momentum to keep him onwards and upwards towards that checkered flag then? It's going to be Robbie Callaghan who takes the victory here in heat number 2. A brilliant drive from Callaghan. Kept it nice and tidy until the final lap of the race where he was able to take the lead on that final lap. Brilliant stuff from Robbie Callaghan. It's Ronan Doherty in 2nd place, Thor Tuller in 3rd, Dylan McClements in 4th then. So he did manage to get himself back ahead of Rory O'Shea, and Logan Hoy in 6th place then, with Tony Stack in 7th. Peter McCann in 8th place there. So something happened to Peter McCann, unfortunately, towards the end of that race. He dropped down the order. Sean McClements up to 9th place. Brilliant recovery drive from Sean McClements. It's Conor Melia in 10th place then, with Sean McGoldrick in 11th. Andrew Murphy in 12th place. Carl Irvine in 13th place. TJ Taft in 14th. Enda Farrell 15th. Dave Collier in 16th place as he makes way across the line. Gerard Thornton in 17th place. It'll be Mark Ivory in 18th place. Philip Upson does finish this race. He finishes in 19th place here. Jamal Gandor making his way towards the line then to finish in 20th place in the order. We just have 2 drivers now, Nick Tuller and Stuart Brereton, left to finish off today's, or at least heat 2 here, before we make our way towards our final 20-minute race of the evening. Nick Tuller then across the line in 21st place then is very quick to stop the car and jump out ready for the 3rd race. And Stuart Brereton is, well, not exactly coasting towards the line, but he's enjoying the scenery whilst he gets the chance. Might not have been the great race for Stuart Brereton this time around, but he'll try and make his way towards the checkered flag and finish off what's been a great race. We saw then lots of battling to be done, lots of battling to be had in race number 2, that is for sure, as the checkered flag waves for Stuart Brereton as he coasts his way across the line. We have our results then. Robbie Callaghan takes his 3rd race win of the season then. It's Ronan Doherty in 2nd place. Thor Tuller in 3rd place. Dylan McClements in 4th. It's Rory O'Shea 5th, with Logan Hoy in 6th place. Tony Stack in 7th. Peter McCann in 8th. Sean McClements 9th. And Conor Melia rounding off the top 10. There you see Andrew Murphy in 11th place. Carl Irvine in 12th. TJ Taft. Sorry, I've made that wrong. Andrew Murphy 12th place. Carl Irvine 13th. There we go. I'm back on track now. TJ Taft in 14th place. Enda Farrell in 15th. Dave Collier 16th. Gerard Thornton in 17th place. Mark Ivory in 18th. Philip Upson in 19th. Jamal Gandor in 20th. Nick Tuller in 21st. And Stuart Brereton, the last of the finishers, in 22nd place. Non-finish there. David Prunty did not see the checkered flag in that race. This is normally the time now where we flip over now and see who's ready and willing to have a chat to us. We do have Robbie Callaghan. Let's. I'm not able to do the scruff of his neck. I am. Ronan's able to drag him in though. Robbie Callaghan joins us now. Robbie, congratulations! 3rd race win of the season. That seemed like a really measured move against Ronan Doherty towards the end. Then talk us through that final lap.
Yeah, so all the laps previous, I was just kind of like getting ready for it. I was getting really close to him, and I could see like the toe was really strong up the hill. And then on the last lap, he went for the inside. I'd actually gone around the outside of someone else in the first race, so I knew it worked, and I just stuck it around. I think he might have missed a gear then after that because he dropped back behind me. And then in the last corner, I accidentally, or the second last corner, I accidentally shifted to first, and he nearly killed me.
Yeah, we
So
saw that slight moment there, didn't we? But
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Robbie, that's a third race win for the season for you. You managed to get it on the final lap. I do have to ask though, whilst I've got you, the first race, what happened there?
I was sitting there on the start, revving away with my clutch in. I forgot to shift the first. So then the lights went green and I just revved it in neutral. And then after I got it into gear, I tried to shift the second, missed the gear, and lost even more time. So not my
Not,
best start.
not ideal, but you did manage to recover. A heck of a recovery drive from you there. So you managed to
Thank you.
get back onto the podium. So congratulations there. Haven't got long with you. So I will say, what's your sort of aim for the final race? You're starting from 8th. Where do you think you can go?
Um, I'll aim for a podium. Maybe if a few lads spin or hit a curb or something, I might be able to get a podium. But yeah, say third was possible.
Well, you managed 10th to 3rd. See if you can do 8th to 1st. Who
That
knows?
took quite a few people driving into a wall. So
Hey, it still counts. It all still counts, Robbie.
Still counts.
Well, good luck for the final race then, and wish you all the best. Thank you for chatting with us, Robbie.
thank you very much.
Robbie Callahan, then our winner of race number 2, podium for race number 1. Let's have a see if we can drag Ronan Doherty.
How's your interview skills, Ronan?
Fingers crossed. Let me just check. Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Oh, there's me. I'm back. I have no idea what happened there. I think my mic just had enough of me speaking. I'm assuming then I lost my chance to have a chat to Ronan Doherty, which is a shame, but there we go. It happens. But I'm back now. Hooray. How annoying was that for everybody? I was actually going to ask him sort of, one hand on the trophy, but I never heard a reply. So I'm going to assume he answered positively on that one. I have no idea. He didn't even get the question. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Well, we're heading on towards our final race of not only of the evening, but of the season as well. Oh, I missed my chance to have a chat with Ronan Doherty. Can I bring Ronan Hederman in here
Yeah, sure.
and have a chat with him? Ronan, I mean, you've been here a lot more of this season than I have. It's safe to say. How have you found the season? Who's been your starlet to be watching on?
Yeah, I'm mightily impressed by Robbie, to be honest. Coming into the season in the second race and pulling the results that he's been pulling has been phenomenal to see. The likes of Tony Stack and stuff like that up there is great. Tortullo, another kind of newcomer to RTA in the recent times as well, is also been very silently up there, mainly been on the podium. I don't think he's got a win so far this season, so it's been it's been an up and down season, but a complete and utter domination from Ronan Doherty. But Dylan didn't let him away with it. Just happened to get small little issues through the season to put him where he was. But yeah, let's kick off race 3.
Let's kick off race 3. And of course, it is a reverse of the race results for the top 8 only. So that's going to put Peter McCann at the top of the order. Then Tony Stack in 2nd place, Logan Hoy in 3rd place with Rory O'Shea in 4th, Dylan McClements in 5th place with Thor Tuller in 6th, Ronan Doherty in 7th place, and Robbie Callahan in 8th. Then the order is as you were at the last race. Sean McClements will start from 9th, Conor Melia in 10th, with Sean McGoldrick in 11th place, Andrew Murphy in 12th, Kyle Irvine finishes, or starts, I should say, in 13th place. TJ Taff in 14th, Ender Farrell in 15th place with Dave Collier in 16th place. I'm going to interrupt myself because we haven't got time to round off the grid. It's here we go time, and Peter McCann gets off to a flyer once again. We've got someone who pulls off to the right-hand side. It's Rory O'Shea, I think, who's dropping down the order like a stone at the moment. But Logan Hoy has got himself up into second place here, battling away with Tony Stackers. We're somehow going 2-3 wide behind, going through in towards the first corner of Coppice then. All making our way through then. Conor Melia then in 8th place. Robbie Callahan has got up to 7th place. Ronan Doherty, great start from him. He's up into 6th place now as we make our way onwards and upwards then. Up Park Straight and towards Park Corner, where Ronan Doherty here will have Robbie Callahan all over his rear view mirrors here. In the background as well, I think that's Sean McClements looking for a move on Conor Melia, has to back out of it, but that's Logan Hoy who's trying to battle away with Peter McCann. Logan gets onto the grass on the outside. Dylan McClements trying to find his way up through the inside now as we head away through in towards Chris Kerb. Now in towards the gooseneck here. It can really narrow up here. We've seen some incidents happen there in previous forms of motorsport. Dylan McClements looking round the outside in towards Mansfield. Brilliant move from Dylan McClements to get himself back up into second place. Thortilla follows him through to get up to third place. Logan Hoy in 4th place there. Logan's had some good pace here tonight so far. I'll be looking to continue that. Tony Stack then, Super Mario himself, gets a little bit sideways going out of the mountain there. That's going to hand a position there to Robbie Callahan. And look up the inside is Conor Melia, who fancies his chances against Tony Stack then, running side by side somehow through the whole bends. And Conor Melia, I think, has just about got himself ahead. Yes, he has. Now Sean McClements fancies his move up the inside now, through and towards the final corner at Barn, and does find his way through. We've got a spinner in the background. That's TJ Tuff once again. TJ Tuff finds himself facing the wrong way, and he manages to right himself. Sean McGoldrick is right behind him though, and as we make our way through then, our trio lead the way then. Ronan Doherty is in 4th place there, but leading the way, Dylan McClements from Peter McCann and Thor Tuller. As we make our way through in towards Charlie's we go. There's your 6 drivers and your sextet leading the way at the moment. Robbie Callahan then looking for a move on Logan Hoy. He's already talked about how powerful the toe is against Ronan Doherty. He'll find it powerful against Logan Hoy as well. Through in towards the left-hander we go here. And still running side by side out of park and in towards Chris Curve here. Peter McCann still up there in 2nd place as Callahan does find the move past, gets himself now up into 5th place. And now one eye will be on this quartet up ahead of him. Here's Ronan Doherty. We ride on board with him, looking for a move up the inside now of Thor Tuller, then in towards Mansfield Corner, and he does get the move done, moves himself up now into 3rd place. His next target will be Peter McCann as we make our way through in towards the mountain. At the bottom then, we head away to the summit, and then maybe have a little bit of a jump over it as well. Why not? Dylan McClements, though, leads the way ahead of Peter McCann. It's Ronan Doherty in 3rd place. Thortilla in 4th, with Robbie Callahan in 5th place. Logan Hoy in 6th place, with Sean McClements in 7th. Conor Melia in 8th place. Tony Stack in 9th. And Rory O'Shea started this race in 4th, has fallen down to 10th place. Well, McClements is just starting to try and break away here from Peter McCann, looking to just try and keep his head down. He struggled not only with making a pass, but making it stick for the whole lap then. Fastest lap of the race has just gone the way of Ronan Doherty. 1 minute 38.8, looking for a move up the inside there, in towards Coppice, and he'll be on the outside here as we head away through in towards Charlie's here. No way through for him that time around. Peter McCann holds firm, holds on to 2nd place, but now Ronan Doherty will have a little bit of a toe here. So too will Thor Tuller as we make our way up the hill then, up the park straight we go. And as we make our way onwards then towards Park Corner, there once again is Ronan Doherty. He's got himself alongside Peter McCann up the inside. They do run side by side then still. Ronan Doherty is on the inside then, heading our way now through in towards Chris Curve. And look at Thor Tuller, who fancies his chances of follow the leader, except it's follow 2nd place. Through in towards Chris Curve, now in towards the gooseneck. And that's a great bit of driving there from Thor Tuller to get himself ahead of Peter McCann. Then down in towards Mansfield we go then. And our battle for 2nd place. Conor Melia, though, is off the circuit then. And that is at the gooseneck. Well, it is now the gooseneck. He rejoins onto the circuit, but he's down to 14th place for Conor Melia. And for a driver who's shown an immense amount of pace today, unfortunately, this 3rd race has not gone his way whatsoever. There's our leader though, Dylan McClements, who's managed to get 1.1 second lead over Ronan Doherty. But Ronan Doherty is by far and away our fastest driver out on track. But there's Robbie Callahan in a bit of trouble there. And maybe straight lines the last part of the Hall Bends. And let's get a replay and see what happened moments ago. So let's see what happened to Robbie Callahan then. This is up the mountain then, as he makes his way through in towards the Hall Bends, trying to chase down positions here. What happened at Hall Bend? Did he grab a curb wrong? Yes, he did. And oh, he clouted the wall there. I wondered if he would have got away with that. But yeah, you see, there might have been a slight bit of crabbing, a bit of suspension damage potentially to that car. And yes, Robbie Callahan has brought the car back into the pits. But at least hopefully he'll get a repair on it and see it back out onto circuit. Meanwhile then, Jamal Gandor and Sean McGoldrick battle away for track position. This is for 9th place. And right behind them as well is Gerard Thornton, who's had a great start in this race. Tony Stack then is looking to see if he can hold back Sean McClements for a time being, but not quite this time. Sean McClements, who's had to battle his way back through the order as much as possible today. Sean McGoldrick, Jamal Gandor and Gerard Thornton all battling away then for 9th place in this race as we look now through the Chris curve and now towards the gooseneck we go. There's our race leader, Dylan McClements, but look who's right behind him. It's Ronan Doherty. Any surprises here that Doherty managed to catch McClements in about 1 lap? Well, they make their way now through in towards the mountain, then 2 different lines being taken there at the bottom of the mountain. Through in towards the Hall Bends we will go. Thortilla in 3rd place, Peter McCann in 4th. Can McClements here get a 2nd race win of the season? It's been a very consistent season here for Dylan McClements. So far, going into tonight, he had 6 second places coming into tonight. So he really was a man on form, at least for the podiums, but he's only managed to have 1 race win this season. So it's really been a case of he's been up there, he's had the pace, but never for the win, at least except for 1 occasion. Could tonight, the final race of the season here, be the night that he could turn that into 2, at the very least, a brace for him going into this one? But Ronan Doherty is looking for a race win, another race win on the board. He looks to the left-hand side of the track then. He has already 12 wins to his name this season. He's looking for number 13. Doherty here, now making his way through in towards Park Bend. Gets his way back into the lead of this race then with Dylan McClements in 2nd place. Thortilla in 3rd. There's Rory O'Shea now. Has to battle away with Sean McClements. Now, Rory O'Shea, we know he's very good at getting a position back down the park straight. He did that time and time and time again against Dylan McClements. Sean McClements this time wants to try and make the move done. So Rory O'Shea knows a thing or two about keeping a McClements behind, but there's contact in the background. That's Jamal Gandor and Gerard Thornton, I think, got caught up with each other there. That's going through Chris Curve, I believe. And Jamal Gandor will have to rejoin onto the circuit. They were both all sorts of sideways there. So whether something occurred between them. Well then, there's our battle for the lead then. Ronan Doherty leading Dylan McClements through the Hall Bends. And we make our way through in towards the hairpin. And then the Hall Bends have been relatively unchanged. This whole part of the circuit, in towards the hairpin and in towards Barn Corner, has been track layout-wise relatively the same all the way through its existence for Caldwell Park. We ride on board now with Thortilla, who's rounding off the podium positions at this moment in time. Remember, the winner of this race is presented with a trophy, courtesy of Motorsport.ie, the sponsors for the Formula V Championship here at the RTA Virtual Motorsport. Ronan Doherty leads the way, then Dylan McClements in 2nd place. Thortilla then 3rd, with Peter McCann in 4th place. But look at Dylan McClements here. He's got the toe. He might try a Rory O'Shea this time on Ronan Doherty, looking for a move on the right-hand side, trying to take the inside line at Park Curve then. And our 2 championship protagonists do battle here. It's a repeat of race 1. They are going to be swapping positions. And let's hope it doesn't end the same way as race 1 did. Rory O'Shea cannot keep behind Sean McClements on this occasion. Sean manages to get himself up into 6th place. Logan Hoy is his next target, so long as he can keep Rory O'Shea behind him. But our new race leader, Dylan McClements, leads the way here from Ronan Doherty in 2nd place. The likes of Thortilla and Peter McCann, perhaps just looking for a bit of consistency, perhaps looking to qualify a little bit of a Robbie Callahan in the last race, wait to the final lap to really get a move on in this late stage. And we're almost at the halfway time elapsed mark as we ride on board then with our championship leader Ronan Doherty as he makes his way through the Hall Bends then. Now in towards the hairpin. He knew going into tonight he didn't have to push hard. He had 11 wins going into tonight. He had a good points gap with drop rounds to be considered as well. He was always going to be a real favourite for the title heading into tonight. The odds were stacked in his favour, but that's not stopped him from, like Sonic the Hedgehog, absolutely blitzing away at the front of the pack. Sean McClements, meanwhile, then looking for a move on Logan Hoy then, as he looks to go around the outside at Coppice. He'll look to try and make the move done before the corner, but Logan Hoy sticks in there, keeps on the inside. It'll become the outside line, however, now, as we head away through in towards Charlie's, and Sean McClements gets the move done, but Logan Hoy then, if he can take a leaf out of the likes of Rory O'Shea and Sean McClements himself, who's the two drivers really around him, getting all sorts of headaches here, he might be able to use the toe. We might go 3 wide. I think Rory O'Shea definitely thought about it there, but decided against it. And perhaps that might have been the wisest decision he's made in this race. Still going 2 wide, though. Sean McClements and Logan Hoy. Hoy runs a little bit wide then as we head away through in towards Chris Curve now. And Sean McClements holding on to that position. Then Rory O'Shea now up the inside. He'll have the inside line then as we make our way through in towards the gooseneck. And he'll have the position to go with it as well. So Rory O'Shea moves up to 6th place. Logan Hoy down to 7th place. Tony Stack just on the realm of trying to get into this battle here for 6th place. Apologies, for 5th place, as he's currently in 8th. There's Dylan McClements leading the way then. Over the mountain we go, and with Ronan Doherty chasing him all the way through the Hall Bends we go. Could this be a chance for a 2nd win of the season for Dylan McClements and wrap off this season as best as he possibly could? He struggled in race 1, of course. That penultimate lap incident, in fact, final lap incident between himself and Ronan Doherty is all in the past now, at the very least. We'll see what made of that towards the end. In the meantime, though, we're watching on. Rory O'Shea trying to chase down now Sean McClements, as there is Dylan McClements trying to hold back of Ronan Doherty. He has the inside line going through in towards Coppice then, but Doherty around the outside takes back the lead of this race then, making his way through back up to the top of the order. Through in towards Charlie's we will go, but it's not over yet. We've seen time and time again as we make our way on towards the Park Straight. The toe here is just very, very powerful. If you're able to follow the car, you might be able to size up a move heading up towards Park Corner then, as Dylan McClements is closing and closing. But this time he decides to tuck back in and hold off on that position, hold off on that change at that moment. Sean McClements is changing positions. Rory O'Shea and Logan Hoy has got himself now back up into 5th place. So he's done tremendously well there, has Logan Hoy. That's 2 quick drivers he's really going up against there, Rory O'Shea. We've got someone off in the background there. Just trying to see what interval times that are falling down the order. That could be Gerard Thornton that might have had the moment there. Logan Hoy, meanwhile, has Rory O'Shea right behind him for close company, going through in towards Mansfield here. And it's been a good day for Logan Hoy, in all fairness. He's having to hold back the likes of Rory O'Shea. Dylan McClements and is going up the lead. In fact, Ronan Doherty has fallen now to 4th place here. He's fallen right to the back of that queue. And Dylan McClements leading the way then. That puts Thortilla up to 2nd. It puts Peter McCann now up into 3rd. And I assume Ronan is giving us back, taking us back in time to what happened here. So this is Ronan Doherty ahead of Dylan McClements at the bottom of the mountain. How did it all shape up at the top of the mountain then? Through we go then. The back end stepped out on Doherty then through the first part of the mountain, and he had to recover it. And in doing so, he's fallen down to 4th place. A rare error this season from Ronan Doherty, but he was already right down the inside of Peter McCann, then going through the first corner. And he's got up to 3rd place now. Just as quick as he was off the mark there, he's right back on it like he never left it. Thortilla, meanwhile, is in the slipstream of Dylan McClements. Thortilla has not had a race win so far this season. Could today be the day, perhaps? With Ronan Doherty making a mistake, he'll have to go the long way round, going through in towards Park Corner here. He finds himself slightly onto the grass, but look at Ronan Doherty trying to part the Red Sea as we head away through in towards Chris Curve here. Dylan McClements on the inside, Thortilla on the outside. We ride on board now with Peter McCann. How will this all end up? Dylan McClements fights his way through then, holds on to the lead of this race then. Thortilla looking for a move up the inside and decides against it. No way through this time. He definitely had a big think about that one, but decided against the move then. And that's Logan Hoy going just on the entrance of the gooseneck, running a little bit wide. And has fallen now down to 8th place, unfortunately. Sean McClements looks like he followed him there, because Tony Stack is now up into 6th place. Thortilla then now heading away through in towards the Hall Bends. And he's got Ronan Doherty right behind him, a man who's had 12 race wins so far this season. Making our way through in towards the penultimate corner of the hairpin, now in towards Barn Corner. If you're Dylan McClements, with 5 minutes on the clock, you're hoping that Thortula can keep Ronan Doherty behind, but this is not a man that's very easy to keep behind at the best of times, let alone when you're hoping for another driver to do it for you. Thortula then has to stick to the outside line. It's Ronan Doherty up the inside, through and towards the first corner. Doherty back up into second place. He's not been fazed by that mistake he made one bit. He's right on the back of Dylan McClements. Any respite McClements thought he might have had with that moment from Ronan Doherty, well, the void was filled by Thortula. Now Ronan Doherty is right back on him once again as we make our way onwards up Park Straight, heading our way now towards Park Corner. Once again, Doherty on the outside. Dylan McClements has to defend the inside line. Tuller has to go the long way round as well. Peter McCann looking to pick up the pieces where he can. Doherty has got himself a little bit of a healthy margin then. That's at least 3 or 4 car lengths between himself and Dylan McClements right now. Peter McCann looking to get back up onto the podium positions right now. He's got Thortula right ahead of him. But this leading quartet have been so good on pace so far. You know, we've seen the top 3 here, Doherty, McClements and McCann. In practice, I should say, they were separated by 2/100ths of a second. Thortula has got himself a really good turn of pace here in this latter stages here. He makes his way now through the mountain. We will go then, keeping one eye on the clock, the other eye on the action, which has been brilliant from start to finish here tonight. We're not done yet. We've still got at least a couple of laps to bring you here, as Peter McCann looking to see if he can get back onto the podium in the final race of this season. Then through in towards the final corner. At Barn Corner we go. Back we go on towards the start-finish line. We have 16 minutes 43 elapsed so far, and that is a little bit of maths to work out how much we've got left. I think we have 2 laps left. That's going by my estimation then. Fastest lap of the race now for Ronan Doherty. 1 minute 38.5 from Doherty on that last lap. But look who's right behind him. Dylan McClements then, as we make our way through in towards Charlie's, gets us now on towards the Park Straight. Our leading 2 have absolutely found another gear. I didn't realise this was Fast and Furious. There's always another gear between these 2, as Dylan McClements makes his way back into the lead of this race. Then Ronan Doherty in second place, able to pick up a toe as well as we make our way through in towards Park Corner then. And there wasn't too much squabbling between the 2 of them on that occasion. Perhaps here, that might have just got a bit of a gap between themselves and the likes of Thortula. Although I think here Doherty is taking a slightly different line, slightly wider on entry. But look at the launch he got on the second part of the gooseneck. But unfortunately for him, he wasn't anywhere to do in towards Mansfield. They didn't quite have the opportunity that he thought he might have had. He got right up close and personal, though, with the rear end of Dylan McClements. As we make our way now through in towards the mountain, we will go then, ascending for just a couple more times. McClements leads then from Ronan Doherty. Thortula in third place with Peter McCann rounding off our top 4. Through the hall bends we will go then. And onwards we will go. And Dylan McClements taking a slightly tighter line through and towards the hairpin. And that's like dangling a carrot right in front of the donkey then. You do not want to give Ronan Doherty any bait whatsoever. We do have the white flag. It's our final lap then of the race. It's Dylan McClements who leads from Ronan Doherty then. Doherty pulls to the right-hand side of the track then as we make our way onwards towards the first corner. Doherty will have to swoop his way around the outside, which he does. Gets himself the line he wants for Charlie's. Look at Thortula as well, looking to really take advantage in these latter stages here. Through in towards Charlie's as our race leader runs slightly wide then. Might allow Dylan McClements once again to try and pick up a toe here. It's closing and closing, looks to the left-hand side. Ronan Doherty said if you want this move, you'll have to go the long way round in towards Park Corner. Dylan McClements obliges here. Can he get that move stuck then? These 2 came together in the closing stages of race number 1 at this stage, but Dylan McClements makes his way through into the lead of this race then. Doherty has already shown us he can take a different line through the gooseneck and really get some good momentum on the run down towards Mansfield. Can he do that again? Oh, there's contact between the 2 of them again! And that's contact contact between Doherty and Dylan McClements, and look who goes through. It's Thor Tuller. Thor Tuller here has not had a race win so far this season. I've just talked about parting the Red Sea before. That's absolutely the case for Thor Tuller. Tuller only really has less than a mile to go to cap off a win here. He's got the hall bends to size up here as we make our way through in towards these corners for the final time. Then Thor Tuller might be on the brink here of making history for himself. 1 second place has been his best finish so far this season. The checkered flag is ready and waiting then. Around the final corner they go. The squabble goes on for third place, but the squabble is over for the lead. It's Thor Tuller who takes the victory in the final race of the season in the Motorsport.ie RTA Virtual Championship. The Formula V Championship comes to an end with Thor Tuller taking the final race victory of the season. What a brilliant result for Thor Tuller. And yes, of course, it came about with the likes of Dylan McClements and Ronan Doherty getting into a bit of a squabble. But sometimes squabbling drivers ahead just means you get that reward. It's even more sweeter. Thor Tuller was always a thorn in the side of the leading two. Peter McCann in second place, Dylan McClements in third, Ronan Doherty in fourth, Rory O'Shea across the line in fifth, Tony Stack in sixth, it's Sean McGoldrick in seventh place, Sean McClements in eighth, Logan Hoy in ninth place, Conor Melia rounds off our top 10, Andrew Murphy across the line in 11th place, Dave Collier in 12th, with Ender Farrell in 13th place. There's Gerard Thornton in 14th place. Stuart Brereton is just making his way now at the base of the mountain. He's currently in 15th place. He's about 5 seconds ahead now of Nick Tuller. As we make our way over the mountain we go then. And sizing up the hall bends for one final time for Stuart Brereton. He can really, really enjoy this in towards the final couple of corners. That is for sure. And enjoy one last time for the Formula Vs as he makes his way through in towards the final couple of corners to round off what's been, well, I mean, it's just been a fantastic night, let alone a fantastic season going into tonight's proceedings. And we still have a battle on here on a run towards the line. Then Philip Upson versus TJ Taft as they make their way towards the line then. It is headed up by Nick Tuller then. Philip Upson in 17th place. TJ Taft rounds off the final, I believe, of the finishers in that position there. But what a great season it has been to watch on from. It's a first win for Thor Tuller. What a fantastic pace he had today, with Peter McCann in second place, Dylan McClements in third, Ronan Doherty in fourth, Rory O'Shea in fifth, Tony Stack in sixth, Sean McGoldrick in seventh place, Sean McClements in eighth, Logan Hoy in ninth, with Conor Melia rounding off the top 10, Andrew Murphy in 11th place, Dave Collier in 12th, Ender Farrell in 13th place, Gerard Thornton in 14th, Stuart Brereton in 15th place, Nick Tuller in 16th place, Philip Upson in 17th, and TJ Taft rounding off the last of the finishers in 18th place. Carl Irvine, Mark Ivory, Jamal Gandor, Robbie Callahan, and David Prunty not making the checkered flag. I think in the case of David Prunty, didn't take the race start there. But, well, that's been a fantastic way to end a fantastic season, and we have a race winner on our hands here. Let's see if we can have a chat to Thor Tuller. Let's bring him in. I'm sure. He doesn't come in for interviews. Oh, the Kimi Räikkönen of RTA. I wonder then. Well, let's have a chat to our second place driver. Let's bring in Peter McCann, who I know we'll have a chat to in these closing stages. I didn't think we were going to chat to Peter, not in that way. But I know he's going to be a very busy man tonight. Peter, congratulations on the second place in this race, and it's capped off what's been a fantastic season.
Yeah, I've been unusually quite active in the after race commentary booth. I think that was the third podium or fourth podium maybe. Yeah, but the heavens opened and gave me second again there at the end.
Yeah, didn't they just? I mean, you were pretty much battling away at the top three for most of this evening. I mean, you had some pretty good pace. You were on par with the likes of, you know, Callahan, Doherty, Dylan McClements. I mean, it must be a great feeling to just know you have the pace to battle away at the top.
It's a great feeling to know the draft is there to allow me to be battling at the top. Yeah, I don't know. The quali went very well tonight for some strange reason, and I was lucky to hold on. I think 2 seconds there and an 8 after a little spin. So yeah, not bad night.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, you picked up 2 second places, so 5 second places, 5 podiums this season. I mean, you said it yourself. It's been a fantastic season for you.
Yeah, I have a 0 drop as well, so I'm interested to see where this all falls now.
So am I. I'm waiting with bated breath. I'm terrible with maths in terms of, you know, working out drop scores, but we're watching on here as well, which I think might be the final lap of or final race of this. We saw Ronan Doherty have that a moment there going in towards the mountain. Of course, we had the final lap. I mean, what's going through your mind in such a hectic 20 minutes?
There's always the wonder in the back of your mind as you're sitting in fourth. Is something going to happen ahead? Like, but yeah, when I seen a bit of smoke coming from Dylan's car, I knew he was going around in it. I just backed out trying to pick where's this guy going to end up. So me and Thor was just very lucky to sneak through. But yeah, it's been a really really good season. I'm sorry to see these cars go.
Yeah, I mean, Formula V's do often give us some great battling. I mean, it's a case of you've got to be careful not to tangle wheels, but does the fact that there's very little air on these cars help with the battling?
Yeah, and the fact that like we're not doing too many gear changes, we're not having to deal with much. You're just braking and taking corners. We're using third and fourth like almost all the time. There's one corner here, some guys were using second, but I find we were getting diff lock and stuff. So I was just using third and fourth like we were on all the other tracks. It's just the simplicity of the driving allows us to concentrate on racing, and you know the faster cars are tougher to race close. So it's I don't know. It's been a really really good season.
I mean, it has as well. I mean, it's been fair to say that you've been on the pace. I mean, first round in that first race, you were half a second off a win there, even closer at round 5. Not to bring back any bad memories in that final race, but it's been fair to say you've had a really good turn of pace. And I know you're sad to leave these cars behind, but a new adventure in the next championship series.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the LMP2s as well. I was delighted to see the vote going their way. We've raced them in endurance races and stuff where we've been right up at the front, so it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Well, Peter, I'll let you have your final say as well. Is there anything you'd like to say just to cap off what's been a great season?
No, it's just been awesome to have you guys here and just the whole admin team behind RTA as well. And of course, Motorsport.ie for sponsoring the season with some awesome trophies. I'll hang around for another while. You can crack the other boys and we'll have a chat at the end.
Yeah, sounds good, Peter. We'll leave you to it. Thank you so much for having a chat to us. Congratulations on your
Cheers.
second place there. And let's see if we can have a grab with Dylan McClements, who did finish third in that. Am I here? Can you hear me? Hello. Oh, it was it at McClements we tried to bring in last time, and my mic decided just not to play ball anymore. Should we try one more time? I, it's bringing somebody into these commentary. I know what it is now. They have a pair of scissors on them. That's what it is. Let's try this one more time. Dylan, can you hear us?
Yep.
Hey, there we go. It's not. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? It just
Yeah.
seems like people entering the coverage box snip my microphone cable. Dylan, I mean, it was a great battle twice over. It didn't end great twice over, but I mean, still a third place from you at the end there. It was an intense battle, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, this is the one race I knew I could, send everything on because I had nothing to lose, and it ended up bad, but maybe, everything has a way of, being about, and maybe next season could be my season, or a couple of seasons, but you never know what's gonna happen.
No, you don't at all. And it was great to see you battle your way through the field. I mean, you got another podium here tonight. That's 12 podiums, I believe, you had this season. 13 podiums, one of them being a win. That win coming in the last round, actually, at Lime Rock, I think, race number 2. I mean, it's been a case where you've had the pace, but has it just been what's been that missing ingredient for you to convert podiums into wins?
I mean, at the start of the season, I saw I was on the top of the leaderboard, so I didn't want to do anything too stupid to try he kicked me out of that top spot. So I just tried being as consistent as I can, and maybe not going for the risk of the win. I knew I was just comfortable getting them podiums.
Yeah, I mean, Ronan Doherty's picked up, I think that was 12 wins this season. I mean, he's been absolutely formidable, hasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely has, and he deserves that championship.
Well, we'll see if it's confirmed. I'm not going to confirm it. I'm very bad at maths. But let's focus more on you, Dylan, because like you said, it's been a very consistent season from you. Probably one of the most consistent seasons I've seen from you in my time here at RTA. How would you rate your own season here?
I mean, it's a very, very good one. I haven't got much wins, but as you say, I've got a lot of podiums. So, I've always been at the top, but I might have always been not the luckiest. But, it's every week you come in and there's these good couple boys at the top, you enjoy battling them for the lead. Sometimes, it's like it's a great racing league in here.
I'm just going to correct myself. It wasn't Lime Rock you got the win. It was Knockhill. I think it was in race number 2 there. So, I mean, is it fair to say that the Scottish track will hold some fond memories for you this season? Has that been your favourite track? If not, what one has?
I think Not Kill was definitely one of the ones I enjoy. But if I had to go off something, I'd probably choose this track. It's no, I didn't have the best luck, but it's a really good track once you get to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just sort of flowing. And how has the car been for you this season? I mean, we heard from Peter to say, not a lot of error on these cars, promote some great battling. Do you feel and do you share those same sentiments?
Yeah, there's been a big difference when you've got in the car a long time because the gearbox aren't great in these, and I think I lost a win once by missing a gear. So you had to get used to the gears and also the starts. My starts were the best this season, but it's definitely been a close battle.
Yeah, great stuff. Dylan, thank you so much for having a chat to us. And I'm sure we'll see you next season. I'm sure. How would you find the LMP2s by any chance?
I've did a test drive on it once, and it's a very fast car of high downforce, so I think there'll be a good couple of us near the top, but I'll have to see. I need to put in some practice for that now, because there's rain also at it as well, I think.
Yeah, great stuff. Dylan, thank you so much for having a chat to us. And I'm sure we'll see you again next season in some podium chats. I guarantee it.
All right, see it.
Thank you, Dylan. And big congratulations for that podium there, Ronan. It's been great there this season. And I think we can confirm some championship standings, perhaps.
Yeah, let's get Tor in for his interview. It seems like he's sitting there in the waiting room. Let's get Tor in on his first win, and then we'll get some championship standings finalized.
The man who doesn't speak in interviews? What? This can't be right. Well, we'll have a chat to him, of course. First win of the season. First one, I think, in RTA for Thor Tiller. We'll have to see. We'll let him unmute his mic first. There we go. Thor, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can.
Thor, congratulations to you. First win of the season came right at the very end. I think that's your first win in RTA, if I'm not wrong. How are you feeling?
Oh, I just can't believe it, to be honest with you. Dylan and Ronan were just fighting in front, and I know they were fighting for the title, so I didn't really want to kind of impede either of them. But then just suddenly on the final lap, the heavens opened up, and yeah, it just took it.
Yeah, didn't they just? I mean, it's been fantastic for you. 2 podiums for you today. You had to do it the hard way, though, because you qualified down in 12th place. What happened there?
It's just I'm not very used to a open qualifying session. Usually all the leagues I do, it's closed qualifying. And I just cannot get the run for any single lap, and I just cannot find the flow.
I mean, we talked about Dylan McClements being consistent. There was only 3 times this season you didn't finish within the top 8. That's a remarkable for a debut season. To cap it off as well with a victory, I mean, you'd probably be giving this season a 10 out of 10 at the very least, surely.
Oh, I've got a wide smile right now. The one thing is, I do wish I could have been a little better in qualifying, but I am very, very happy to be able to race with these guys. Very aggressive but fair racing, and it's been nothing but fun.
No, absolutely. It's been great to watch you just tonight as well. I think I have seen you at the first race, perhaps, and then it's been a long time since I've seen you since. In any case, that win, I mean, you said it yourself, it was a sort of a surprise, but I mean, you took it well. You didn't let the pressure get to you, that's for sure.
Oh, it was pretty close. It was pretty close. There was some.
No one has to know that, Thor. No one has to know that.
Okay, nothing happens.
Nothing happened. It's fine. Don't worry about it. No, but I'm hoping we'll see you next season as well to try and build on that. What's been a very, very successful season for you. I'm just trying to put together, I think that's 7 podiums, I think it was, because you finished 3rd in race 2. So, yeah, 7 podiums, one of them being a win, a handful of 4th places, handful of 5ths as well. Like I say, your results speak for themselves, Thor. It's been a really good season for you.
Thank you so much. I can't complain. Happy
No,
enough.
no, absolutely not. What about next season? Though we've got the LMP2s. Is that a car that suits you here? I mean, we're leaving open wheelers and we're going straight into these powerful endurance machines.
Honestly, I'm not that much of a prototype racer, but it's been just a blast racing with RTA. So I might have to put some testing in over the off season, and yeah, hopefully I'll be back out.
Look, this might be a stupid question, Thor, coming up, but I'm very happy with the stupid answer. What's been your favourite track of this season?
Oh, I don't know. Caldwell sounds pretty good to me.
I thought you might say Caldwell. Yeah, funny that. Are there any tracks you've sort of thought, yeah, you know what, I distracted everything I did on that night?
I do feel like I had the speed at Lime Rock. It was just a few unfortunate incidents that took me out of the running. But I just absolutely adore that track. I have maybe 1,200 laps around there. And it was just a disappointing night, but I still had so much fun.
Oh, great stuff, Thor. It's so, I mean, I can hear the smile that's beaming across your face. I don't need to see it. Thor, I'll go and let you celebrate your victory tonight, but a huge congratulations, and I really do hope we see you next season.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful broadcast.
Thank you very much, Thor, and I'm sure the champagne's on ice for you.
Sure thing. Take care.
Thank you, Thor. Well, Ronan, that's our top 3 done and dusted. Very nice to speak to Thor. For a man who doesn't do interviews, he conducted himself very well.
Absolutely, yeah, and nice to hear a new voice in the RTA booth every now and again.
Oh, absolutely. So I think we're hearing from Peter McCann, Ronan, that we can move on to overall standings. That's the whispers I'm getting.
Yes, we can. We have the confirmed top 3, so I will let you do the run through.
Well then, should we do it together? You
Sure.
bring it on the screen, and I'll go through it just to make sure we've got the right screen. But I have got the top 3 in front of me. Well, I'll say though, 3rd place, fantastic season for him on 521 points, was Thor Tuller. I mean, 459, I should say, with the drop round. So a good result from Thor Tuller. Finished 57 ahead of anybody else. 2nd place in the running then in this championship was Dylan McClements. Ended up on 486, but our winner this time around for the Formula V Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship is going to be Ronan Doherty. 540 points for him is enough to seal the title. So a big congratulations to Ronan Doherty for being the champion of our RTA of the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship here at the RTA Virtual Motorsport. It's fair to say then, Ronan, it's been a fantastic season. 12 wins pretty much speak for themselves, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Ronan has absolutely killed it, both in real Vs and in virtual Vs in Ireland over the past, well, our season here and also the past 12 months. He's extraordinarily fair as a driver, super aggressive. He's just simply one of the best, and yeah, fair play to him. Super consistent to be on the top of the podium pretty much every round is unbelievable. Just pipping off Dylan in pretty much every race. I think Tor was kind of close there on a couple of occasions, but Tor just had consistent points, very like Dylan. But yeah, to seal off that many wins in a championship is unbelievable, and I think it's only right that we pull him into the booth and have a quick talk with him.
Absolutely right. Let's drag him in then, and hopefully my mic behaves itself. Stay with me, Mike. I call him Mike. Why not? Let's see. Everything seems to work so far. So let's have a chat with our championship winner confirmed in Ronan Doherty. Ronan, can you hear us?
I can, yeah.
Ronan, big congratulations to you. It is confirmed you are the champion. That absolutely fantastic season for you. 12 wins. I was just saying to Ronan and Hederman there that they speak for themselves. Half the races you won. It's absolutely incredible. Well done.
Thanks, lads. Yeah. No, it was a good season. It was nice. A lot of the time I can't do the full season, and there's been a lot of championships I've been leading and stuff, and then I just can't do all the rounds. But like for example, Jordan was like that. Jordan was right with me until he couldn't make a few rounds as well. So it was nice to get a good run at it, and these cars are great because it brings everyone into play with the slipstream as well. So no, it was a very enjoyable season.
I mean, it looked it. I mean, I'm going to have to ask you, what's been your sort of favourite track this season? I mean, you've won pretty much at every single track so far this season, apart from the third round. I don't think you were there for round 3. You were saying there. So, I mean,
Yeah.
what track's been your favourite? What's the sort of night you thought I nailed everything there? I did everything I could.
Well, I mean, I won all 3 races in Donington and Snetterton. But I like driving that track tonight now, to be fair. It'd be hard to pick around because the racing was so great. My least favorite round was definitely Silverstone because I died about 46 times in 3 races. But apart from that, I really enjoyed all the tracks, and I'll say my best weekend or my best night was Donington, probably.
I mean, again, you've added yourself to the Hall of Fame another time, Ronan. I mean, Ronan Hederman here was saying you're bossing it in the Formula V's virtually. You're bossing it in the Formula V's in motorsport as well. I mean, how much of that is transferable here to this championship? What sort of things are you able to take over from your real life escapades?
To be honest, the car compared to the Irish V isn't really that similar. But the same sort of concepts apply. It's all about your minimum speed and stuff, you know. I think this is modelled off of the American V. Um, so there are differences, but there is a big slipstream in real life also. So a lot of that racecraft sort of pays into it, and maybe that's where a little bit of my experience. I've been on the sim now like 3.5 years nearly, so I've got a lot of experience as well, and I think that's maybe just the slight edge I have.
And I'll ask you one more question, Ronan, before you go and celebrate. Next season coming up, we've got the LMP2s. What do you reckon?
Yeah, they're great cars. They're the perfect balance of fast and quite drivable. They have TC, and also it's quite hard to lock up the brakes on them. I think they have ABS. I don't know. I haven't driven in a while. A lot of downforce, and there's also a nice slipstream on them. So it's going to be more of a driver's car maybe in terms of the toes, not as big as a V obviously. But I'm really looking forward to it. And there's going to be lots of guys there. Like Dylan's just he's got all the pace now. He just needs a little bit more experience under his belt to keep it consistent. But like you see there, he's coming through, Thor's coming through. There's going to be lots of competition at the front, Sean and everyone. So I'm really looking forward to next season and the LMP2s.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, Ronan. Congratulations. We've dragged Peter in here as well to make it a quartet to round off what's been a fantastic season for you. I was just going to say, Peter, you're here now. Is there anything you wanted to say to Ronan?
Well done. To be fair, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. 11 wins, I think.
12 wins. I
12
meant
wins.
12.
Right. It's just ridiculous. To be fair, Dylan must have been absolutely on it as well because he's only like 50 odd points off at the end there. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and Dylan's definitely going to be taking a step up every season now, and he's got loads of pace, and I think he's going to be converting more of that into more wins as well.
Yeah, when he's developing 500 points in a season, it's just crazy. Like we had new guys like Thor join us and Robbie. Like they've performed really well. Robbie took what 2 wins now, or is it 3? It's 3 wins in 3 rounds. I think out of nowhere that we haven't seen that in RTA before, where a guy can just turn up and just take wins like that off us.
Yeah, it's been great to watch on as well. I know Evan. I know he's gutted he couldn't be here for the final round, especially with the Thor Tuller win on the cards tonight. I don't think Thor expected that himself, but he had the pace out there. I mean, Peter, I'll leave the closing thoughts with yourself. I mean, what a fantastic season it's been. You've already said as well, it's been competitive throughout the field, but this man Ronan Doherty here was leagues ahead with the 12 wins.
In a series where the cars are so equal and the draft is so strong, I don't know how you can figure out, Ronan, how to always get to the front. Like, it shouldn't be the case that you always get to the front when we have the ability to draft past you so easily. But yeah, it's been an awesome season. We have I don't know. I'm sad to see them go. Like I was saying earlier on, the LMP2s are going to be awesome as well. But something about these Vs, every time we race them, it's just a savage season.
It's great stuff. And thank you, Peter and Ronan Doherty, our champion here of the Motorsport.ie RTA Formula V series. Of course, a big thank you to our sponsor in Motorsport.ie, which is Ireland's leading motorsport news blog. And make sure you do go and check them out with all the latest news, insights and opinions from the Irish motorsport community, both in Ireland and abroad. So a big thank you to them for sponsoring us here and for sponsoring the Formula V series. Well, it's been a pleasure to bring this to you from myself, Kieran McGinley, and Ronan Hederman alongside, and also behind the cameras as well. It's been a pleasure to bring these races to you. Make sure you do tune in for next season. We've got the LMP2s on their way to you. So that should be some good fun. It's a real driver's car. We've heard from a couple of drivers who are already looking forward to next season, as am I, and I hope you'll join us then. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm here to butcher some Gaelic, and it's time to do it. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon, and slán go fóill.